election yatra has reached Karnataka. We're reporting live from the Mysuru Kodagu Lok Sabha constituency. It's a very personal and prestige battle for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. This is his home constituency, but over the last few years it's become a stronghold of the BJP. The BJP has dropped the sitting MP from the constituency and fielded the Mysore royal family scion Yaduvir Wadiyar from the constituency. He's making his debut, but the sitting MP being dropped, is that going to be a challenge for the BJP? The Congress fielding a Vokaliga, how much of a challenge is that going to be for the Saffron Party? We're going to be speaking to the people of the constituency. We're speaking to the candidates to get you the pulse of the people. Join us live this evening at 5 p.m. only on Times Now. Namaskara and a very warm welcome to the show, the election yatra. After the Kerala route, we have now arrived in Karnataka. We're right outside Mysore Palace. In Karnataka, is it going to be a battle between Prime Minister Modi's guarantee versus Siddaramaiah's guarantee? How is that going to play out? In the second phase, 14 constituencies are going to the polls, including the 4 constituencies in Bengaluru as well as Mysore and Mandya. We're in Mysuru, but it's a prestige battle, a personal battle for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah himself, as this is his home constituency. The BJP has fielded the Mysore royal family scion Yaduvir from the constituency. How is this battle going to play out? The BJP dropping the sitting candidate from here, the sitting MP from here, is that going to work against the BJP? The Chief Minister campaigning extensively here. What does that mean for the Congress Party? We're going to be discussing all of that. First up, a look at the royal battle that's playing out in Mysuru.
With voting in the first phase of elections over, the focus has now shifted to second phase of polling on April 26. In phase 2, 14 constituencies of Karnataka will go to polls. Times Now's election yatra bus has reached the crucial southern state and is in key Mysore Lok Sabha constituency, where the contest has turned out to be a high voltage affair. The ruling BJP has dropped sitting MP Pratap Simha and has fielded Mysuru royal scion Yaduvir K. Chamaraja Wadiyar from the seat. The scion of the erstwhile Mysuru royal family is making his political debut from the constituency. Congress has fielded relatively low-profile engineer-turned-politician M. Lakshman from the seat. Lakshman is State Congress spokesperson and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's confidant. It's also a battle of prestige, as Chief Minister Siddaramaiah hails from the region. Congress has also chosen to play the caste card, highlighting that Lakshman is a Vokaliga, the agrarian community that dominates the region. It is also positioning the battle as Raja versus Samanya Praja, or King versus ordinary citizen. While US-educated Wadiyar is making a political debut as a BJP candidate, he has a solid backing of JDS, which is contesting the polls in alliance with the BJP, and has a considerable vote base in the constituency. With both the Congress and the BJP going all out to woo voters in the crucial seat, it remains to be seen who wins this battle of prestige. Bureau Report, Times Now.
So who will win this battle of prestige? That's the big question. Let's introduce guests this evening to find out the situation on the ground. We've spoken to a lot of the voters. We've spoken to the candidates to find out what the situation is. But let's open up this debate. We have Dr. Anil Thomas, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Ravichandran Gowda, spokesperson of the JDS, joining us. Dr. Sara Haq, Vice President of the Campaign Committee of the Congress, joining us. And BK Prasad, leader of the Congress Party and former Mayor Prakash, joining us on the broadcast. So thank you for joining us on the show. I want to begin with Dr. Anil Thomas on what he thinks is the ground situation here, because the BJP dropped the sitting MP from the constituency. Is that something that's going to work against the party? You've fielded the royalty from here, but this has also given ammunition to the Congress Party that says that this is a battle between the Raja and the Samanya Praja.
Good evening, everyone. The former MP, Sri Pratap Simha, has done wonderful work from the past 10 years. So, he has been, not given a ticket for some reason. And the royal family is now represented for the MP candidate by Sri Yaduvir Krishnadatta Chamaraja Wadiyar, an youngster. And we are standing right in front of the Mysore Palace and this beautiful city of Mysore. And the Mysoreans, basically, the people from Mysore or the old Mysore region, we are always indebted to the royal family for this beautiful city and for all the infrastructure and for all the wonderful things that they have contributed to this beautiful city.
Okay, so the contribution of the royal family is going to be the go-to point for the BJP. Dr. Sara, is that something that's going to work against the Congress party? This may be the Chief Minister's constituency, but a lot of voters do feel that all the development that we've seen in Mysuru is thanks largely to the kings, after which it has only been taken forward by the subsequent governments that came after.
I respect. Hello, Anil sir. Nice to see you here. My senior and my very close friend, but we are not in touch now since we joined politics, and that is basically the point I would like to say, that BJP brought a divide between people. I am also standing right. My heart beats here. I come here every time for New Year's to Dasara. My mother used to say Sara should have been named Dasara instead of Sara, because that is how my heart beats for my city. All of us are indebted, everybody. And you can never forget what contribution the Wadiyars have done. And I personally, my favorite and I've met is R. Shrikanta Datta Wadiyar late. How much he did. And I'm sure sir knows where he belonged to, from where he stood and how he won. So we are indebted, but this is not going to change, ma'am, because all said and done, what comes to a poor man's plate, to the platter, whether we are able to eat food, whether the school is able to go to the, whether the kid is able to go to the school. And if I take my child to the hospital, a common person, will he be treated enough? Will the inflation take care of it?
You mentioned that you're no longer as close to him as before because of the BJP. So you're saying that the BJP has created a divide. You also say that the royal family has contributed a lot here. So isn't that something that the people will also be thinking of, that the royal family has contributed a lot here? This is, of course, not the very first time that the royal family is foraying into politics. Previously, they've also been with the Congress party. So you're saying that will be advantage Congress?
Pratibha, Indira Gandhi gave her life. Rajiv Gandhi gave his life. Did people remember that? There was a change, right? Congress ruled, then BJP ruled. Change is evident, it's inevitable. Indira Gandhi gave her life. We saw how badly she was assassinated. Rajiv Gandhi was blown apart. That is also a sacrifice, right? So royal family contributed for the city, for the development of the state. That respect we will have. But then we have immense respect for our scion of the family. He is an excellent person. He's a very humble, very well-mannered and very well-behaved person. But BJP took advantage. They just brought him into politics. And there will be a lot of change now. There will be a lot of change. People will see who is a common man, who knows, who understands, who I'm telling you, the problem of poor people, that's what is important. Okay. What BJP did is make the rich the richer and poor the poorer. That is what has happened.
So caste equations also play a very important part. Vokkaligas are a sizable population in the Mysuru-Kodagu belt. Mr. Prakash, is that something that could work against the BJP, that Pratap Simha has been dropped and the Congress has fielded a Vokkaliga from here?
That is the part. I'm having highest respect to the royal family, which has ruled our earlier states of Mysore Prantya. But regarding the development is concerned, I'm having highest respect. Even after that, when Congress party came to ruling, double the development has done by the Congress government. The dam, the KRS dam is constructed by the earlier Maharaja, and after that we have constructed 3 dams. And also, what Mr. Siddaramaiah is doing is the welfare economics, upliftment of the poor people. If the central government says that we have already become rich, why he is giving 5 kgs of rice for 80 crores of people? I think the poverty is still there in India. Okay. That has to be lifted. And
so you're banking on Siddaramaiah's guarantees.
Yeah, that is the welfare economics that which Siddaramaiah has taken. This is the first state in India to take that welfare measures.
Okay. So you're saying these are welfare measures. In fact, all across Karnataka, that's the sentiment that this is going to be a battle between Modi's guarantee versus Siddaramaia's guarantee. Is that something you think that's going to make a difference on ground? Because here, many are also taking advantage of, they are getting the welfare schemes that have been introduced by the Congress government. So is that going to make a difference in the elections?
My co-panelists are very clear. So many of our leaders have been blown off. Okay, that is not occurring now. From the time that Modi is ruling, the terrorism is almost wiped out from this country. Point number one. Second thing is, Modi's guarantee is welfare of all, not appeasement of some. Okay, here, what happens is, the women folk of Karnataka has been given a few freebies, but they have raised the electricity charges for the other common men. They have raised the bus fares. They have even raised the milk prices. They have raised almost charges. Even people who love alcohol, they say it is almost doubled. The entire price of all commodities have risen to such an extent. People are unable to live. With all these freebies. These freebies have taken people for granted. But the people are slowly realizing what is required for nation is Modi's guaranteed and a stable government. From the past 10 years, we have a stable and able government. Our economy, it was at the 11th position in the world. It has come to the 5th position now. And Modi's guarantee is that within few years it will be in the 3rd position. So that is Modi's guarantee.
Okay. On that point, I just want to ask Sara very quickly, because a lot of women voters as well that we spoke to said that yes, we are getting guarantees, we are getting benefits from this Congress government, but these are all also coming from our taxes. This is not a favor that the government is doing to us, so which is why we are going to vote for development. What do you say to that?
See, I understand people's sentiments, okay? But I'll tell you a simple example of my maid whom I see every day. She's very happy that 2,000 rupees has given her economical independence for their class. Okay, it has given her independence. She's happy with the electricity. Whatever. See, freebies, like how BJP says, it is not freebies to just bring your voters into the pocket. It is to understand the pain, the basic pain of the people. And that is why it was given. And if Siddaramaiah has done this, it is done with a massive vision of uplifting the poor. I completely disagree. It's like, okay, fine, sir is talking about development. Sir said, I agree that, people were blown off and terrorism has stopped. How long since Rajiv Gandhi was blown up? After that, how many prime ministers came?
Okay, since you spoke of terrorists, I want to say today the Prime Minister has also spoken of the law and order situation deteriorating. He has spoken about the Rameshwaram blast as well. We're going to be speaking about that in just a moment. I want to ask, when we speak about Mysuru in particular, or across Karnataka, but in Mysuru in particular, when Pratap Simha is dropped for the JDS, of course, to support the BJP, how do you think the situation is going to be on the ground?
In Mysore?
Yes.
Yes,
Mysore and Mandya, but Mysore in particular.
In Mysore particularly, my royal family has given lot of lands to the publics and to make development. It has given more contribution like Care Hospital, Maharaja College, Maharani's College, and they built a dam, Kaveri Dam, KRS Dam. During the construction of KRS Dam, there was a shortage of financial crisis. At the moment, they pledged their own gold in the Bombay market and brought the money, and they constructed the bridge. So it is helpful to both to the district like Mysore and Mandya. Even we are drinking water from. We are happy to tell that if we are drinking water, it is from the royal family. So we would like to select him as our candidate.
Okay, how much of a factor do you think is Deve Gowda here? He had also campaigned with the Prime Minister. How much of a factor do you think that's going to be in Mysore?
Definitely, it helps. So, actually, I think I will tell you more than 50% it help. Both we are equal in Mysore. In BJP, it may be our JDS, both we are equal proportion in votes. So we will most probably 50% we will support them.
Okay, so this is going to be beneficial for the BJP. But for the BJP, the Prime Minister, before this alliance with the JDS came together, we've seen how this has played out in the previous assembly elections as well, when the Congress and the JDS had come together. Traditional rivals, even if the leaders agree to be together on the ground, the workers don't really come together. Is that a challenge that's also going to play out for the BJP, especially because The Prime Minister has also criticized the JDS on several occasions. He has spoken about dynasty politics. He attacks the JDS, and now suddenly you're saying that no, we have an alliance with them and their supporters are going to support us completely.
Ji, the former Prime Minister, is a great source of inspiration to all Kannadigas here. But he has understood the present condition of our nation and the stability that the nation needs. The 10 years of Modi government's rule, it has to be carried forward. So they've got to realize this, and he has asked his people to support BJP. There was initial hiccups probably at the ground level, but it's all sorted out.
But for the digs that the Prime Minister has taken talking about the dynasty politics, do you think that when this has been the attack in the mainstream of the BJP, it's going to trickle down so quickly when you form an alliance?
Correct. There are few hiccups. I'm telling you, I'm openly admitting there are few hiccups, but it's all been slowly ironed out for the sake of nation.
Okay, all right. Because we're talking about Mysuru, the Chief Minister, this is his home constituency. The Chief Minister, in fact, we're told, is focusing extensively here. Almost every 2 days he has been campaigning here for the candidate Lakshmana as well. He has, while campaigning for him, he has gone on to say that a victory for him means a victory for me, and he says that he is going to win by over 50,000 votes. Why has it become such a prestige battle for the Chief Minister himself?
It is quite natural. In his own constituency, he wanted Congress to win.
But is there any pressure from within, which is why he's focusing largely on these constituencies?
No, it is not at all. He is already widely traveling all the other parts of the state also, which only for 14 Lok Sabha elections are taking place. He has traveled all the places. And he has got a little bit affinity to his own constituency, and he has only twice or thrice he has come, and it is quite natural. One has to have.
Okay, you're saying it's very natural, but the Chief Minister focusing extensively here, does that give out a wrong message that there's some nervousness perhaps here?
Definitely not. He is giving equal importance to the other constituencies also.
Okay, because many also believe, some in the BJP also saying that this could perhaps mean that there could be pressure from within the Congress party for Siddaramaiah, that, you know, if he loses from his own home constituency, then in his Chief Ministership as well, there will be questions that will be raised.
He's already a people's man. People have celebrated him. You've seen the massive mandate that we got in assembly
But there was
elections.
a leadership tussle within the Congress party.
That happens everywhere, Pratibha. That is more even in BJP. The moment something happens in Congress, it's highlighted. I'll just tell you, Pratibha, so beautifully speaking, traveling across India, covering everywhere. Okay, fine. Times now, Pratibha is speaking. Pratibha enters Karnataka and Pratibha enters Bangalore. It becomes, okay, what is she talking? It's her hometown. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. It's not a prestige.
Okay, so you're
issue.
saying because it's his hometown, he's campaigning so much. But he's the Chief Minister of the state, you mentioned, and you would expect the Chief Minister, say the Prime Minister, he is a main campaigner, the star campaigner of the BJP. He ensures that he is going to places across, and in the places where the BJP believes that it's weakened, they bring in the Prime Minister to ensure that the votes get boosted up. That has been the strategy of the BJP. Is that the strategy that the Congress is doing, or you're saying that the Congress has a different strategy? We are okay with what we're doing.
People's love what you have actually given to the people. Siddaramaiah went. We saw Karnataka coming back to power. Okay.
Okay.
Modi also came. Prime Minister sir came several times, several things.
In fact, the Prime Minister has campaigned extensively in the South over the last several weeks. Why the special focus towards the South? Karnataka has been the gateway to the South for the BJP. How is it going to play out this time around? The Congress believes that because its government is in power here, this time around, it will do a much better job than it did in 2019 elections. Is that so or not? While the Prime Minister was campaigning, one of the key issues that he spoke about was that the Congress party is anti-development. He spoke about the deteriorating law and order situation. He brought up the Hubballi incident as well as the Rameshwaram bomb blast. Listen in to the Prime Minister's attack.
कांग्रेस एंटी यूथ है क्योंकि कांग्रेस एंटी इन्वेस्टमेंट है, कांग्रेस एंटी एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप है, कांग्रेस एंटी प्राइवेट सेक्टर है, कांग्रेस एंटी टैक्स पेयर है, कांग्रेस एंटी वेल्थ क्रिएटर है। साथियों, यहां कांग्रेस सरकार जिस प्रकार के विचारों को, जिस मानसिकता को बढ़ावा दे रही है, वो भी बहुत खतरनाक है। यहां हमारी बेटियों पर हमले हो रहे हैं, बाजारों में बम फूट रहे हैं, भजन कीर्तन सुनने पर भी हमले हो रहे हैं, ये सामान्य घटनाएं नहीं है। और इसलिए मैं बेंगलुरु के और कर्नाटका के भाइयों से आग्रह करूंगा, ये कांग्रेस से बहुत अलर्ट रहना है।
So you heard what the Prime Minister has said. He said that Congress is anti-development. It is anti-taxpayer as well, taking a clear dig at Siddaramaia's guarantee or the freebies, as the Prime Minister has called it, in Karnataka. What do you say to that attack?
Obviously, no, BJP is rattled. BJP is rattled with the way Karnataka came to power. Karnataka is now in the hands of DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, sir. So, and just see the development. Development, I don't want to discuss on development because now everybody is talking about it. But what has BJP done in last 10 years? That's a big question. People will answer. It's a people's mandate. It is their right. They will answer. They will definitely answer in 2024.
Okay, all right. The Rameshwaram blast as well being mentioned by the Prime Minister. He says that the law and order situation across Karnataka is deteriorating, hinting that when the Congress party is in power, this is what happens.
Where was the law and order when Pulwama blast occurred? Pulwama blast is very, comparatively very higher than what in Rameshwaram mentioned. No death has taken place. Such cases happen sometimes, but nothing more has happened here. We also, Congress party also condemns these types of activities and all, and even the law and order situation during the BJP government was also not so good. When compared to Pulwama, all other blasts are very small.
Okay, all right. So you're saying the law and order, it makes no difference if the Prime Minister says this because people are seeing it. But on
There's
ground...
a lot of difference.
Okay, let me ask the BJP if on ground there is nervousness, as the Congress party has said that there's nervousness. Siddaramaia's guarantees are working. The nervousness is what is ensuring that the Prime Minister talks about it when he says that the Congress party is anti-taxpayer.
We have seen development all across the country, and Mysore and Kodagu or Mysore, Bangalore, Mandya, there's no difference. For example, I'll give you a classical example of how 2019 Narendra Modi ji came and explained us about the Mysore-Bangalore Expressway. 12,000 crores has been spent within 5 years. We have a beautiful road between Mysore and Bangalore, and people can commute within 1.5 hours to Bangalore. So it has saved a lot of money and everything. So development is occurring everywhere. What I'm trying to tell you is, as soon as the Congress government came into power with all these freebies, even their own MLAs rebelled against the Chief Minister, saying the MLAs are not getting funds for the development of their own constituency. Yeah. It is not BJP or RSS or anybody else, Dala or anybody who's accusing them. It is their own MLAs. Now, our Chief Minister, Siddaramaia's problem in his own turf is that after 2.5 years, he has to leave his Chief Ministership to probably the internal understanding to DK Shivkumar. Probably if he doesn't win enough seats, he will lose his Chief Ministership, and that is the end of his political career. Okay. That is the biggest problem that the Chief Minister has.
Okay, so what do you say to that? This is what the BJP has been saying. The Chief Minister is always in a worry that his chair is going to be snatched away from him, and that's the reason why guarantees have come in. That's the reason why MLAs are suffering.
He is already declared that he's going to give it off to people. Okay, he's done his best. How long can we expect? How long can we expect? At least he will not be sidelined like how LK Advani and other leaders were sidelined. Let me not bring them here. But obviously, if there is an internal understanding, that will happen. That will definitely happen. People love Siddaramaiah. People love DK Shivkumar. Okay. People love Congress. Faith is reinstalled, and that is what matters.
Okay, so what about the charge that it's not the BJP, but it is Congress's own MLAs who come out and say that we have been told very clearly that this year there's not going to be any development till Lok Sabha elections, no development, because we are busy ensuring that the guarantees are fulfilled. So are you making the state bankrupt or draining the taxes, putting on a financial burden for the state because of the freebies or the guarantees that have been promised by the Congress?
Previous government during Yediyurappa and Bommai, even with the funds, what kind of development happened? We all know that, okay? People know that. Okay, now when talking about Bangalore South, when MP is moving around, Tejasvi is moving around, and many people are supporting, rest of them are telling that, what development has happened, they know. So it's exactly the same. If the funds have been withheld, if the funds have not been provided, do you think every government does development right from the day one? There will be a time.
How long? It's been more than a year now. You're saying that the people of Karnataka
Pratibha, it's been more than 10 years, Pratibha. India has not seen any development. It's only on statistics.
No development for the last 10 years. What's your response to that?
No development for the last 10 years.
No, you can't help it because They need to travel all across the country and they will know. Even the world has accepted Modi ji as an able Prime Minister and they all accepted his mode of development. So even the Christian countries or the Islamic countries the world over have accepted people from Israel, people from Germany have asked Modi to come and contest an election there. So that is his popularity. Anyway, the world is very clear about it. So are Indians. So
Okay.
probably there is a narrative set
Okay,
here
so
by the
that's for
Congress
people
party.
to
That's okay.
decide. No, that's for the people to decide. I want to ask you, the the JDS going with the BJP, is that the reason? You said it's because of development. Has the JDS ceded too much ground in all the discussions that were happening? H.D. Kumaraswamy time and again saying that, if these discussions fail, then I will have no option but to walk out of the alliance. Did you compromise too much in wanting to be with the BJP? And if yes, why is that?
No. Earlier, before election, Siddaramaiah had given 5 guarantees. But as he promised, he is not giving. Earlier, he told 200 units of current he is giving. But right now, he is giving only 100 and 110. As he promised before the election 200 units. But if he is giving 200, he can show I will talk.
Okay.
Just he will give 100, 110 units he is giving. And in the name of Shakti, they are giving a free bus for ladies.
Women,
But if they are giving free bus to the ladies, it's okay. But at the same time, the students are suffering from. They are not going to school and colleges. They are suffering a lot. At the same time, they are giving 2,000 for Gru Lakshmi, but they are pickpocketing from their husbands. Husbands, they are riding autos, tempos, some vehicles. Earlier, they were earning more than 20,000 per month. Right now, after Congress came to the government, they are earning 2,000.
Okay.
So totally, they lost 18,000 rupees. Who
Okay.
will give to the people?
Okay, all right. So you're taking money from the honest taxpayers and giving it to the people, and the people are well aware of the financial burden that this is causing for the state
Petrol,
government.
gas and all of the things.
The blame game continues. In Karnataka, what's going to happen in the previous 2019 elections? The BJP had performed exceptionally well. This time around, is it going to be different because the Congress party is in power or not? We're going to be talking about all of that and much more after a very quick break. Do stay with us. Welcome back as we speak about the battle that's playing out in Mysuru, in the battle between Modi's guarantee versus Siddaramaiah's guarantee. We're in Mysuru. We've spoken about how we're right outside the Mysuru Palace, but there's a very, very interesting story behind not just the palace, but also the legal battle that's playing out between the state government and the Mysuru royal family. Is that at the heart of the personal battle between Siddaramaiah and the Mysuru royal family scion? Take a look at what I'm talking about. It's an extremely interesting story, the history of the palace and the legal battle that's playing out. Take a look. We're right outside the Grand Mysuru Palace, the pride of Karnataka. This time around, going into the elections, Mysuru Palace is all the more in focus because the BJP has fielded the Mysuru royal family scion Yaduvir Wadeyar from the constituency. How is this going to play out? How significant is the palace here? Is there a personal battle that's playing out between Siddaramaiah and Yaduvir? All of this is what we're going to be talking about today. Expert joining us. First of all, say hello to our viewers and tell us your expertise on the matter and what you're going to tell us today.
Good afternoon. I'm a former professor of University of Mysore, Professor N.S. Rangaraju, and I'm representing Heritage of Mysore from 20 years and experience of 40 years in the teaching line with archaeology, heritage and other things. I'm with you. I'm so happy to meet you again after a long time. So the palace is one of the best places in the Mysore city for the tourists. In Mysore, we have more than 14 palaces.
Well, that's the history behind the Mysore Palace, but we're speaking of the history and the culture of Mysuru and Karnataka. One of the most special dishes from Mysuru.
This is before the Ambavilas Palace construction. There were 2 palaces. In 1793, there was a small palace. It was collapsed because of thunder lightning. After that, there was another palace was constructed in 1881. This lived up to 1897. That palace is also gone because of the accidental fire. So 1897, there was no palace at all. Then the Maharaja of Mysore, particularly the Queen of Chamraja Wadeyar the 10th, she was the mother of Nalvadi Krishnaraju Wadeyar. She started construction of this palace in 1894 November. So it took many years, completed in 1912. Actually, 1897, it has gone up to 1907. 1907, the Griha Pravesham have been taken place, but the construction was completed in 1912 AD.
Okay. Just to give a context to our viewers as well, Mysuru is known as the cultural capital of Karnataka, and Mysuru Dasara here is extremely famous. It's a 10-day festival that goes on, and that's one opportunity that people get to get a glance at the Mysuru Palace as well. Any day you come, you'll see people from across the country, across the world, who come here to visit the palace. The royal family stays inside. We'll talk about that as well. But Wadeyars who built this palace, the royal family, lies at the heart of the people of Mysuru. And we spoke to a lot of voters as well who said that development in Mysuru came much before development in even Bengaluru, and all of it was brought by the Wadeyars. So they believe Mysuru was famous because of the Wadeyars. Development was brought by them, and the state government does not have much of a role to play there. So, tell us about that, because a lot of infrastructure here, a lot of comparisons are also often made with Bangalore, and how in Mysuru it's much better even though it was made by the Wadeyars. So what is the contribution that Wadeyars, Yaduvee's family have made to Mysuru?
See, it's a long history. It's not so easy to explain within 1 or 2 words. Now, after the death of Tipu Sultan, 1799, May 4th, there was no palace in the Mysore. So, the Mummudi Krishnaraja Wadeyar, he became the king. He constructed a wooden palace within 2 years. That was the first palace out of all this. Why, when comparatively done into Bangalore, there was nothing here. No heritage building was visible properly in Mysore. Only the wooden palace was completed within 2 years. Then the royal family shifted from Srirangpatna to Mysore. Then the Mysore developed. All the other heritage roads, heritage trees, heritage circles, heritage structures, everything appeared one after another. Today I told you there are 13 palaces are present here in Mysore, and roads are broad, well planned by the Maharajas. The contribution of Maharajas for protecting the Mysore as one of the cultural center is just because of the commitment of the royal family. There is a Chamundi Hill. On the Chamundi Hill also we have a palace. Now that was some problem was there. Now it is restoration is going on. It is maintained by the royal family. So there are palaces which have been handled by the royal family, and it is with the possession of them.
Okay. So do you think that the emotion of the royal family and the contribution of the royal family to Mysuru is still something that stays in the heart of Mysoreans, or do they think that yes, they made the contributions back then, but now there's not much of a royal connect with the royal family?
Now, the question to answer with many words. Up to the death of 1974, the last king, Chamaraja Wadeyar, Jayachamaraja Wadeyar, after the death of him, no person have been called as king. But we respect them, the royal family members. Srikanta Datta Narsimharaja Wadeyar, and after that, Yaduveer Krishnadatta Chamaraja Wadeyar, they are all well known to us. We call them as HH. HH means His Highness. Whatever the people say, they say His Highness is on the street. We have worked together, but the people of Mysore have got high respect on the royal family.
Okay.
The development was done by them and continued by the political leaders.
Okay. Okay, so there is a lot of respect that they have for the royal family, but there is a legal battle as well that's playing out over the Mysuru Palace. Tell us a little more about that. This is also a prestige battle for Siddaramaiah from this constituency. It's his home constituency. Apart from that, with the royal family, the state government, back when Siddaramaiah was the chief minister previously as well, there's a legal battle that played out. What is the status of it now, and do you think that's going to be a factor in the election?
Actually, the dispute is in the Supreme Court. We are not supposed to speak more about that. And usually I am also a law graduate, and I am telling you, the dispute is not only for the palace. There are so many other grounds. For example, you can see this ground. It is also under the dispute. And you know, the airport, near the Chamundi Hill, we have helipad. The helipad was in the dispute. They won the case, and now it is with the royal family.
Okay, so the dispute is over the ownership of the land.
Yes.
And the palace.
Palace. Even now, in the part of the palace, the royal family are still staying there. No disturbance from the government. You can see anyway the palace you are seeing. My left hand side, there is part of this. The royal family is still staying there. They are protected, and they are fighting in the court for the ownership. I don't know what will be the judgment of the court, but it is a real good battle for the getting of their own property.
Okay, so because of this property dispute, because of this legal battle, do you think it becomes more of a personal fight for both Yaduvir, because it's against the chief minister, against the state government, and also for the chief minister because it is against the royal family? The royal family is a member of the BJP now.
Now they became the member of BJP. Earlier, Srikanta Datta won 3 times from Congress.
Yes.
1 time he was defeated from the BJP, and he stopped moving in the field of political.
Yeah.
And he became very important person for the Karnataka State Cricket Stadium and Cricket Association and many other things of Mysore.
Yeah.
But now, this is not battle between Siddaramaiah and Yaduvir Krishnadatha Chamaraju Vadayar. It is the land dispute. Okay. It is in the court for many, many years. And Siddaramaiah, as a chief minister, he also contributed many things to Mysore. When he was the first chief minister, first time, he have given more than 4,000 crores for the development of Mysore. He made all these concrete roads and the Dasara road, respecting the royal family. And there is in the circle, if you go there, there is the statue of a lost king, Jayachamrajendra Vadaya. It was not there. He did it in time only. So, personally, there is no bridge between them. Okay. It is a difference between the land acquisition. Okay. Not only that, after Siddaramaiah, the 3-4 chief ministers came and nobody have taken it seriously. Even he is also not taking it seriously. Yeah, they allowed it to the court to decide about the land.
Okay, all right. So let's see how that dispute plays out, and of course the bigger battle that's playing out on the ground. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us and giving us all the information on that, the insights into that. So the Mysuru Palace, the beautiful background that's right behind us, is in the middle of this entire legal dispute that we were talking about. But in the Lok Sabha battle, what's the story? That's also what we're going to be talking about. So this is the story behind the Mysuru Palace and the legal battle that's playing out, and why perhaps the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has also been campaigning extensively from here, his home constituency. Is there any pressure from within the Congress, as the BJP is talking about? A lot more to talk about, but let's also speak a little bit about the culture of Mysuru. We'll tell you what's special here after a very, very quick break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. As we mentioned, our election yatra is in Karnataka and in Mysore, and like in every episode, we also try to bring you a little bit about the local culture, the local history, and of course the local delicacies. When we speak of Karnataka, one of the most famous delicacies across the world is the Mysore Pak. And there's a very, very interesting story behind it. Did you know that Mysore Pak was made by accident when the Maharaja of those times asked for a dessert all of a sudden? The dish was made very quickly by putting together whatever ingredients were available at the point, and that is what led to this famous delicacy that we all have and love so much. Take a look at where this sweet originated and what is the story behind it. If you visit Mysore, ensure you have a Mysore Pak. That's the saying, and we are at Guru Sweets. Mysore Pak is, of course, famous across the country, across the world, really, because of the amazing, delicious sweet that it is. I'm at Guru Sweets, and it is believed that this is where Mysore Pak initially began, and it was back in 1934 when it came into existence. A delicacy that we all enjoy today started it back in 1934. We're going to be speaking a little more to find out when did it start, what was the idea behind making it. Thank you for joining us. This is a delicacy that's enjoyed all through the world. Tell us the story behind it. When was it started? Who asked for it?
Madam, nearly 90-95 years old shop, madam. Mysore Pak ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೈಸೂರು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ನಾವು ಗುರು ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ವಂಶಸ್ಥರಿಂದ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ. ಇದು ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೆಸರು ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಮ್ಮಡಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣರಾಜ ಒಡೆಯರ್ ಹತ್ರ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುತ್ತಾತವ್ರು ಕಾಕಾಸುರ ಮಾದಪ್ಪ ಅವರು ಪಾಕ ತಜ್ಞರಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ವಿಶೇಷ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳು ಬಂದಾಗ ಅರಮನೆಗೆ ಆಗ ಮಹಾರಾಜರದ್ದು ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಅಂದ ಮಹಾರಾಜರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂದ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳು ಸೇವಿಸಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನ್ ಹೆಸರು ಅಂದಾಗ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಅದರ ಮೈಸೂರು ಆಗ ಮಹಾರಾಜರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಪಾಕ ಇಸ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್, ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೆಸರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದು. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಿಗೋಗಿ ಕರೆಯೋದೇ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್. ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೈಲೂ ಕರೆಯೋದೇ ಅದನ್ನ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್. ಅದು ಮೈಸೂರಿಂದ ಅರಮನೆ ನಗರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಕುರು ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ವಂಶಸ್ಥರಿಂದ ಅನ್ನೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸೊ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ರಾಜ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳಿರೋದು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸ್ವೀಟ್, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಅ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಹೌ ವಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೇಡ್? ವಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್, ಆರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ರಾಜ ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಬಿ?
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಏನೇನಿತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ, ಕಡಲೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟು, ತುಪ್ಪ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಟರ್ಮರಿಕ್ ಪೌಡರ್, ಇಲಾಚಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹಾಕಿ ಅದು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ರು. ಖುಷಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಆಗ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಹಾರಾಜರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂದ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳಿಗೂ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು 2-3 ತರ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಜನಗಳ ಯೂ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಬೇಕಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲೇ ನಮ್ದು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ 7 ವೆರೈಟಿ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಅದು ಗೀದೊಂದಿದೆ, ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ವನಸ್ಪತಿದಿದೆ, ಗೀ ವಿತ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್, ಬಾದಾಮ್ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್, ಡ್ರೈ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಮೈಸೂರು ಪಾಕ್, Kaju Mysore Pak, and Jaggery Mysore Pak.
But in all the Mysore Pak, this is a very special Mysore Pak. So for our viewers, can you tell us the secret ingredient?
ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಮೊದಲಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿರಿಯವರು ಕಾಕಾಸುರ ಮಾದಪ್ಪನವರು, ಅವ್ರ ಮಗ ಬಸವನವರು ಏನ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹಾಕೊಂಬಂತ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದೇ ನಮ್ದು ಇದು ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್.
Alright, an election, you mentioned the king as well, but this time around the Mysore Sign is also contesting from the BJP. What do you think is going to happen? Because in the market as well, as we spoke, many spoke about Yaduveer, ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಅಂತ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ?
ಹೌದು ಮೇಡಮ್, ಯದುವೀರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ದು ಮಹಾರಾಜರದು. ಆಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮನೆ ಇಲ್ದಿದ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮನೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರದವರು ಅವರು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಇಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರದ್ದು ಅನುಕೂಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೋದಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೇನ್ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡದೆ ಮೋದಿನ. ಅದು ಮೈಸೂರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರಮನೆ, ಅರಮನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಸೂರು ಮಹಾರಾಜು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ತುಂಬಾ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳಿದೆ. ನೀವು ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವುದೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, KR ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೌಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ಗಳು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, KRS ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಮಹಾರಾಜರದೇ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಅವ್ರು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮೈಸೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮೈನ್, ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ MP ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಪ್ರತಾಪ್ ಸಿಂಹ ಅವರನ್ನ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಅ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯದುವೀರ್? ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಲಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದ ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಹೋಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿ. ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಇದು ಈ ಸಲ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್?
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಏನೇ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಏನೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಯಾಕೆ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ ಯಾರು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಯಾರು ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಇಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅನುದಾನ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಮಹಾರಾಜರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಅನುಕೂಲನೇ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಏನ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking to us. He mentioned the emotional connect that people have with Yaduvir, with the royal family, and that's what I want to speak about. While we speak to this sweet shop, they're also all around me. If you see the market, compare it with Bengaluru. Mysuru is known to be one of the most developed areas. If you just look around me, this is one of the main markets here. This is the Devraj Aras market. The development here, when it rains in Bengaluru, with just one day's rains, it's flooded completely. But Mysuru is one of the most developed areas. Even with torrential rains, the roads, the infrastructure here stays just as it is, which is why the people are happy. They believe that these are all developments that have been brought by the Mysuru Raja. This time around, the sign is contesting from here, so there's no doubt that the Raja has already won their hearts. They've already seen the work that has been done. More than the government, it is the Maharajas of Mysuru that have brought development here. So that's a report from the ground. We hope you loved our show today. We spoke about the Mysuru Palace and why it's in the heart of the battle in the Lok Sabha elections, why this is a prestige battle for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, and why the BJP is putting in so many efforts on the ground to ensure that the seat is retained by the Saffron Party. After Mysuru, our next stop is going to be in the Sugar Bowl of Karnataka. We're talking about Mandya. In the 2019 elections, until then it was considered to be a JDS stronghold, but in 2019, an independent candidate, Sumalata Ambarish, won from the constituency. This time around, interestingly, H.D. Kumaraswamy has been fielded from the constituency, backing from the BJP. How is this going to play out on the ground? Is it going to be advantage the Congress or not? We're going to be getting you the report from Mandya in our episode tomorrow at 5 p.m. We'll speak to the voters, speak to the candidates, get you the pulse of Mandya and across Karnataka in the battle for the South. On that note, we're slipping into a quick break here. We'll be right back again here at 5 p.m. We'll see you there.